There's an old saying about how, in the end, the sea will claim everything.
That's the name of an indie game.
This is true. In the long history of the human species, entire regions have disappeared under the waves. Places like Thuringia and Doggerland still echo in our cultural memories. But we shouldn't forget that life began in the sea. We are the children of the sea. And it's not through floods and ruin that the sea will claim everything, but through us.
Chernyshevsky. From Arkady Chernyshevsky's In Our Likeness, Essays on Humankind Reaching Adulthood. With alarming frequency, our mythological narratives conceptualize our separation from nature as a fall, a punishment for sinning, a loss of innocence, a decline from a golden age. We believe that a better state of humanity is possible, but instead insist that this state must be in the past. And yet our historical experience has been the exact opposite. I guess I should be giving this guy a Russian accent. I don't know how to do a Russian accent. For all the horrors of modern war, and they are considerable, relatively few people today have to suffer the unspeakable agonies that our ancestors went through on a daily basis. It is doubly ironic that we place our golden ages in the past, but very rarely consider what life was actually like for the people whose genes we carry. How cold they were, how hungry, how frightened of the cruelty of nature. What unspeakable pains they must have experienced when they were sick or injured. How many of their children they had to lose, unable to help, begging the heavens for mercy and never receiving an answer. The past is a slowly receding tidal wave of grief. The battle for human emancipation is not yet won, and the path has been far from straightforward, and yet in but a few thousand years we have eliminated a great deal of suffering that before must have seemed unavoidable and eternal. Some still suffer, their lives held ransom by politics and economics. I am not going to do that accent. I guess I can't do a Russian accent, but at least now we know that a better world is truly possible, and it lies in the future. Founding 4. From Hypatia's Journals, The Founding of New Jerusalem. We had a bit of an incident today, nothing major, but it still woke us all up. Sun was away from the camp, alone, even though we had agreed that we should always go in teams. Sun must be a person. And she encountered a group of the herbivores we saw on the first day. Cows, they're called. Apparently our ancestors kept them as livestock. Eustathius says they squeezed them for liquid, but I find that hard to believe. But I digress. Sun encountered a herd, and just as predicted, the animals were passive at first, friendly even. Sun decided to abandon her survey to study them for a while, which went well until a group of wolves, formerly dogs, a type of pet, entered the clearing, causing a stampede. Yeah, I guess there wouldn't be much reason for domestic cattle anymore. Sun is alright, only minor scratches to the bodywork and a few torn wires, but it was a close call. I guess we've gotten a little complacent, a little too comfortable. We'll have to be more careful from now on. What's up, Trevor? Haven't heard your beautiful voice in a while.
Now I have to talk science fiction for a bit because I love science fiction, but it drives me nuts. There's this cliche that shows up over and over, and every time someone uses it, everyone pretends it's really profound. It goes something like this. A scientist invents something good, but, oh no, it's actually really bad. You could have something that makes your life better, but no, you can't. How dare you even want it? That's hubris. That's playing God. And it's never anything that reflects the real world, right? It's never, oh no, you invented a vaccine for cervical cancer. Oh no, you invented a new class of antibiotics. Oh no, you cured malaria. How dare you? Those diseased mosquitoes are way more important than human lives. How did science fiction become so reactionary? You know, if we all thought this way, you guys wouldn't even exist. At least Alex agrees with me. She has good taste.
What sci-fi have you been reading? I'm like, there's only two that I can think of that do that. Jurassic Park and Sphere. which I believe are by the same author. I have read dozens of sci-fi authors, and other than those two books, never come across that. I mean, maybe it's more in movies and TV. I haven't consumed that much. But yeah, in books, it's extremely rare for that trope to happen. Sci-fi is awesome, guys. You should read sci-fi. It's really smart. Like contributing to the sphere of ideas without having to pass through peer review, I guess is how I'd put it. There's a lot of super smart people who write sci-fi and have a lot of really awesome ideas. Redshift. I was like, oh, there's another person here. It's me. I bet 1K can tell the difference between these bodies. At least the difference between the new ones and their original self. Is there another one behind here? Like I can't seem to do anything. And everywhere else in this world, when I couldn't do something, it meant there was another self. Oh, hey, look. How do I get up there? Oh, hey, look. That's how I get up there. Move it. I didn't just like phase through anything. Okay. All right. So I'm going to connect this and probably connect somewhere else, and then also it's like, but I want to place it here. Because now I can carry this around. Oh, but it's pointless. Oh no, I do have to do it that way. Alright, yes. Keep connections. Jump. Switch. The wrong button. It worked though, exactly as I needed it to. Okay, just move a little bit. There we go. And now that is open. Great. Where's the blue one? It's over here. Okay. So I need to do what I just did, except with blue. All right, you go over there. Now that I've learned I can drop this directly on top of it. Oh, no, that is fine. Fine to stand right there. Select and place right there. All right, making some progress. Oh, that's not progress. That is intellectual progress. Keep connections. Now you go back there. You hop on top again. Move me all the way over to here. And we want to select that and get in a good position where we can see it. And select it. Come on. Dang it. Fine, I'll hop down. There we are. Get back over to the button. Get back onto the fan. Place. There we are. Now move. Yeah. Let's go. It's all the puzzles. What is that? Okay. There are still some question marks. We will, well, one of them is probably a lab, right? Yeah, we'll look at them later. Have to find a way back up there. Can we climb the side of the mountain? It may be a challenge, but we can do it. I just beat Celeste Summit D side. I can climb any mountain from any angle. Well, not if it makes me slide down like this. Did I get this one? No, I didn't. On Cornelius. The personal reminiscence of Mitku. There are some people whose true importance you don't notice at first. People who quietly hold things together without making a big deal of it. That's what Cornelius was. Always by Athena's side, he calmly and carefully helped us all stay on track, reminding us of our shared humanity and the values that have brought us this far. I cannot imagine how painful it must have been when Athena left him behind. When he was on his so-called research expedition, most people thought he went looking for her. To be honest, I thought he might never come back, and I was surprised when he finally did. I still don't understand how she could leave him. They seemed to love each other so deeply. After he returned, Cornelius was different. He founded the Museum of the Simulation and very rarely left its premises. The archive scholars doted on him, but he walled himself off, becoming almost as much of a recluse as Eustathius. And only then did I slowly understand how much the city had lost. So I wonder if they had a differing of views. Blake. God appears and God is light to those poor souls who dwell in night, but does a human form display to those who dwell in realms of day. Author William Blake. That's a real-life author, isn't it? Prime Mover. The Prime Mover, excerpted from Considerations by Eustathius. While it is hard from our vantage point to fully believe in any of the ancient religions, I must admit that I have come to believe in the existence of a Prime Mover. Not a designer as such, certainly not an interventionist god, but some force that set the universe itself into motion. I do not know if it's possible for us to ever truly understand this being, since it must by definition exist outside our understanding of reality, but I do believe that it exists. Does it look upon us with love? Are we entertainment, perhaps? Does it preserve some kind of memory of us when we die? All of this I cannot answer, but I do not disbelieve those who honestly speak of having experienced some manner of brief communion with this entity. It's simply too common an experience in human history to easily discount. As the motion of the universe proceeds from the Big Bang, so whatever force animates us, whatever constitutes the true foundation of consciousness, proceeds from the Prime Mover. What do you think about this, Mother? I don't believe in any kind of Prime Mover, but I thought you should read it because Eustathius is an intelligent person, and he came to this conclusion after a great deal of thought. It's important to respectfully consider points of view we don't agree with. Yeah, the argument of the Prime Mover is an old one. I don't know if there are modern versions that are better, but the original one was basically like, things are moving. A thing can't move unless it is interacting with something else that's moving. Therefore, there must have been a time when nothing was moving, and it needed somebody to start it moving. which is a nonsense argument. You know, a modern version of that argument would have something to do with energy and entropy, and, you know, it would have to take modern physics into account, which involves things like quantum physics, which states that to have anything be absolutely unmoving is impossible because of the uncertainty principle. And if you don't understand what that means, that's okay. I'm not going to be teaching quantum physics in this video. But basically, the whole argument of the prime mover relies on things that just don't work with modern understandings of physics. So maybe there's a version of the argument that does, but if there is, I haven't heard it. Modernity. From the Book of Annotated Internet Comments. The Book of Annotated Internet Comments! That's gotta be the best and worst book of all time. If modernity is so great, why is everyone so fundamentally disappointed with the world? Why do we sigh with pleasure at the sights of old houses, but feel nothing but depressed and alienated by skyscrapers? Why do we yearn for lush forests and wide plains, not narrow canyons between buildings? We love all this technology so much, why is our idea of happiness to get away from it? Could it be that progress is just a story we tell ourselves to justify why we allow ourselves to be dominated by inhumanity and older forms of living have something to offer? Well, you know, I do kind of disagree with this statement. I don't think we feel nothing but depressed and alienated by skyscrapers. I think it runs deeper than the surface level. I think the same sight can be beautiful or ugly depending on what it means to us. There's a lot about the processes about how humanity works that is depressing. It's not just we do great things isn't that great, but it's also the systems that we use to make those great things and why we're doing it. You know, are we doing it because we're trying to make art and we're trying to push forward the human spirit? Or are we doing it because we have a company and we're competitive and we're trying to make our company owners richer? I mean, that's a simplification, but, you know, the very same building set up for both of those two reasons can make you feel opposite emotions. I don't even remember if I read the rest of this. It seems that many of us share this desire to immerse ourselves in nature. Though we are ourselves entirely technological beings, we enjoy and value the Earth's diverse and unpredictable biosphere. Does that mean that progress is just a narrative, as this ancient commenter suggests, or does it mean that technological progression and a love of the natural world are in fact not mutually exclusive? And yet, if this person was left on his own somewhere in the wilderness, he would feel nothing but terror. The appreciation of nature is rooted in the experience of civilization. That's not Miranda, is it? There's gotta be other people here. Probably other people. And yet, if this person was left on his own somewhere in the wilderness, he would feel nothing but terror. The appreciation of nature is rooted in the experience of civilization, of safety. True, but he's still right. So much of what our ancestors created in their last years was alienating to the majority of people. The question isn't one of modernity, but of control. Cool. Is that another thing? No, it's just a light. It was my cursor. I saw my cursor and thought it was a thing in the water. Finally, stairs. Here be the ring. What's this way? More ring. Okay, what's over here? Is there another stair? There is. And there's a person over there. Is it Melville? You have anything new to say? You do.
I've been wondering, what made our ancestors settle in these godforsaken places? It can't have been easy with those frail, squishy bodies of theirs. What makes a caveman go, yes, this frozen hellscape is where I want to live out my days? You think Byron was right? Is it in our nature to be wanderers?
Well, there's a lot of reasons. There's food, there's, you know, if you're ostracized, you can start something new. No, it's just about resources and population pressure. Yes, because people are drawn to the idea of building a new society. I have no idea. Yes, they came here looking for beauty. Yes, we like to overcome challenges. Honestly, I think all of these are correct. I'm gonna go with this one.
We do, don't we? A species of problem solvers, like Drennan said. That must be why I sometimes find myself imagining building new cities.
Let's talk about something
All
else.
right.
In my vision, Athena mentioned a singularity. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yes. She could be talking about a gravitational singularity. Like the point within a black hole where density becomes infinite and space-time breaks down. But the term has other applications too.
I don't think they would be doing that. They'd probably be very difficult to do in a lab. Sounds insanely dangerous to be experimenting with. Honestly, not really. Me knowing physics, it's not. Fascinating. They must have been doing some incredibly advanced experiments. I assume there are safe ways of experimenting with this. But I mean, there's also the technological singularity, which, given this game, has already been passed. Because, well, I guess, well, no, actually not. Because the technological singularity would be the invention of a self-improving life form. And what I mean by that is a life form that can look inside itself and rewrite its own code to become smarter, more driven, you know. Oh. That's what the Somnibus, whatever it is for. Okay, so back at the beginning of last episode, or whenever it was, when I talked about Athena and Miranda ascending to become particle beings, that would count as a technological singularity. Yeah, so that's probably what they're talking about. I assume there are safe ways of experimenting with this?
There are safe ways of doing most things. Plus, the planet hasn't collapsed into a black hole, so I guess we're okay.
Now, I think they're talking about a technological singularity. And themselves. Alright, we got 2 ways to go here. Why would we... No, we only got 1 way. Huh. What's over here? More stairs! Just more way back. Hey, Byron, you have more words to say.
Hey there, 1K.
It's really interesting how the text has to take a long time to load. Maybe it's their facial animations. Oh, this is a lot. What if Athena left the island a long time ago?
Then at least we may be able to find out what happened in New Jerusalem, why she came here. But I don't think she left the island. I think she's still here, waiting for us to make the right choices.
I think she has ascended into a particle god. I hope you're right. There is a rational reason to think so. I agree, she has to be here. What makes you think that? I doubt she's still here. What if it's a hoax? What makes you think that? I mean, I did mention the idea that it's a hoax in a previous video.
It's hard to articulate. There just seems to be so much intent here. There has to be a reason for all this. And Athena is the only reason that makes sense.
Why do you believe there should be more people?
I think every single human being is completely unique, and every instance of consciousness is a miracle. The more of us there are, the more alive the universe is. And the more we all interact with each other, the more complex the life of the universe becomes. So I believe that people are a fundamental good. I don't believe we're all flawless, but I think every one of us matters precisely because nothing else does.
Great, I agree. Do we get a new dialogue from that? Do you think the answers we seek exist within ourselves?
Look, self-reflection is important, but only thinking about yourself, your inner identity, becomes narcissistic. You exist, whether you like it or not, in a dialectical relationship with the world. Identity has no meaning without society, and society has no meaning without the individual. It's in that tension that we really come into being.
Very true. I feel like you're probably paraphrasing an IRL philosopher with that. Tell me a joke.
Okay. How many robots does it take to change a light bulb?
I'm gonna guess 2, because the answer's always 2, but I don't know why.
Replacing a light bulb is a waste of resources, and the founder would be outraged.
What? That's terrible. I think it's a little too meta for me. I don't quite get it, but I'm gonna say it's not bad.
Herman didn't seem to think so.
So you told Herman that joke and he was offended, which, of course, he would have been, because that was your intent, to offend him with a joke. Do you think the megastructure technology could be misused?
Could be, yes, of course. All technology has the potential to be misused, from fire and the wheel to whatever makes these particle clouds. But that doesn't mean it has to be.
Are these... Yeah. How did Major Herman Numis get elected?
Herman? Honestly, I think he makes people feel safe. The world beyond our walls is frightening. Human history is full of failures and disasters. It's easy to look at that and recoil. Herman offers a vision of the future that feels contained, manageable.
Honestly, as far as politicians go, he's not a very bad one. It's a fantasy, a return to a golden age that never existed. It's a fantasy, life will always be a struggle. But what do we sacrifice to gain that safety?
Precisely. Our curiosity, our creativity, our ability to grow. Everything that made us who we are. To me, that's not worth it.
Does your faith in humanity ever waver?
In the principle of it, no. It's not just that I believe humanity is fundamentally good, although I do. It's that I think sentience is the foundation of everything else. What's the point of stars and galaxies, of hills and forests, without someone to perceive them? But my faith that we can actually grow up, that we can break out of these loops and take control of our destiny, that's something I struggle with every single day.
If technology isn't the problem, why did our ancestors destroy themselves? No, that sounds like I'm arguing. I don't want to argue. Do you believe the existence of something sublime or transcendent?
In the sense of an interventionist deity? No. I wouldn't rule out the possibility, but it's not something I personally believe. But I do think there is something genuinely sublime in this universe, and it's right in front of us. Consciousness. The fact that this sense of self is even possible, that an arrangement of matter can produce a self-aware mind? Think about it. It's a fundamental property of the universe, an unbreakable law that matter has the inherent capacity to become more than the sum of its parts. That is the definition of transcendence.
Heck yeah! What's the implications of Melville's analysis of the particle clouds?
Athena was always trying to understand the reality underneath what we perceive, the objective truth. That's why she was capable of leaving the simulation. And even after she was free, she never stopped trying to understand more. I suspect her research took her another step closer to understanding the truth. And such steps always challenge our conception of the universe. But that's the wonderful thing about science. We can adapt our views to the evidence.
I guess since it's an option, I'll ask it. If technology isn't the problem, why did our ancestors destroy themselves?
Because they refused to grow up. They refused to take control of their lives. They let bureaucrats and financiers determine their destiny, and those people could not think beyond themselves, beyond the tiny, insignificant moment they were trapped in. Their technology could have saved them, but what really failed them was their imagination.
Honestly, I feel like you're lumping billions of people together as a hive mind there. Well, to be fair, we've been doing it this entire game. Only one path, unless there's gonna be a... Can we put anything else here? We can. The rotate button, this one. There we go. That's going the wrong way. Okay, let's undo this one. Wait, can this one fit? It can. Okay, that's not the one. Did we try this one? Oh, it's obviously not the one. Tried... No, we can't. Tried this one. Alright, so I must have made a mistake. No, I can't have made a mistake back here. Because these are the only ones possible. If we just tried this, nothing worked. That one would put us into a wall. Alright. Let's try this one. That's into a wall. Wait. Why is this different now? That was weird. There we go. That's not it. There we go. Yay! There we go. Wait, this should have worked the other way too. Maybe I just put it in wrong. Alright! Who are we gonna see now? We're finally gonna see Prometheus?
Halt, creature of clay. You have taken another step towards the flame. Before you continue, ask yourself, have the gifts of Prometheus ever truly benefited your people? Or have they brought nothing but strife?
Ever? I think medicine is pretty good. Without his gifts, we would no longer even exist. I don't think that's true. His gifts have greatly eased the suffering of the world. I think that's true. They could have caused great harm, but they cannot be put back in the box. I don't think that's relevant. We've made mistakes in using them, but the good outweighs the bad. I think that's subjective. They have been a curse to my people. Lady, I'm a robot. You know, I think this is a good time to say this. I'm a robot. What is that? Like, my very existence answers your question.
Prometheus has poisoned your mind. Turn away from the flame, or you will be bound, as he was.
And we get a laser with one more laser.
I've been thinking, there's 3 towers per cardinal direction and 3 entities. You'd think it would be symmetrically arranged, 1 tower per entity, right? But we haven't seen Prometheus at all.
We're built to find patterns. Maybe we're trying to find patterns where there aren't any.
Can we see the megastructure? No. It's just hidden in the mountains. Maybe behind a mountain. Alright. Well, that is all I can do for this play session. Seems like these are good times to end episodes. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you thought respectfully in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Talos Principle 2 and other awesome games. I'll see you next time. Bye.